Hello, welcome to Astrology Study Group, the transits, the chart, and the transits of the week. Let's look at this upcoming week. And it's going to be a couple interesting things. There's always something. It just amazes me when I start looking at these and do these. I'm wondering if there's like one week I opened up to and go, well, nothing's happening. Okay, bye. But there's always something. Like Rosanna Dana, right? It's always something. All right. So first thing that gets my attention here is the Venus and Sun conjunction. Today you can see that their Venus is just snuggling up right next to the Sun, right there. I think that's a good thing. It's got to get a little energy because it's going to make, it's got to go talk to Pluto next. It's got to go squaring over there, but it's also trining Mars. So Mars, before it goes retrograde, while it's still got a little energy, it's at 24. It hasn't gone 25 yet, but it's slowing down. So right now, today, we've got the nice trine there with Mars over there to nice Venus as it ushers it in, and then it hands it off to the Sun. Here you go. And then they face, let me go ahead by day. Boom. There it is tomorrow. The Sun then squares up with Pluto, but it's okay for the Sun. The Sun rules the universe. Doesn't matter. I mean, it rules our solar system, so it doesn't matter. Sun's bright. It can, but anyway, we're going to have that square. So we've got, the Sun lighting up this Pluto stuff. That's coming out. Venus right there. It almost wants, it's like, it almost wants to protect it, but it can't. There's going to, I think, be some harsh realities coming out. I mean, be envisioned. And then we still have Mars forward right now. And then the next day, Thursday, was it the 20th? My calendar, yeah. Then we have Venus squaring up with Pluto, and that's, I think, going to be. I mean, I don't know. We might have the Sun, the Sun first, and then like Venus second. So maybe the shock, and then the kind of where it hits. So that's going to be interesting. But all the while we have the trine from Mars, so that gives it some energy. I think we definitely got some energy of stuff going on. What was one of the bigger things? Kanye West and all his stuff just started. He gave the finger to a whole bunch of stuff. He called out a whole bunch of untruths. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but he just called out a whole bunch of scum and a whole bunch of crap. And he's getting flack. Oh, is he getting flack? Of course. But that's happening now. And then I think he just bought Parlor, as a way to have some unbiased truth coming out and not being, energy. Having our freedom of speech challenged. So that's definitely one thing that's happened. And that's, just comes one of that. I think it happened yesterday or today coming out. And that's interesting, and seeing these planets there. What else do we got here? We got Mercury heading into a trine over here with Saturn. We got air and air. So we got Mercury, what's squaring up with Saturn. It's the tattletale. It's going to be bringer of truth, squaring up with Saturn. It's got like, well, mom said, little brother, well, mom said you can't do that. That kind of energy is coming out, which is good. This is good. We got it in the fair sign. You got the tattletale here, Mercury in Libra. It's going to go report, what's true and right and fair. And it has Saturn's approval. So yeah, and then it's getting closer to, its conjunction with, let's go look ahead, with Venus, and then not this week, but it's going to go, it'll get over there. Anyway, you can see as we go ahead through the week, Venus and the Sun are, traveling together. Look at 28 degrees. They're going to walk into the next sign together. Boom, 29 degrees on October 22nd. And then on the 22nd, we also have Saturn stationing. It's stationing. It's going to go forward. It's going to, we've had it slowing down, and then it will go forward here. let's see, what else was that there? And then we've got that square pretty much close. Look at, they've been riding, Saturn and Uranus, and now things again, that that article that if you didn't look at the Mars retrograde video, you have to look at that. There's a very good article by Jessica Davidson, astrologer, about the last time Mars was retrograde in Gemini in the financial crash stuff of 2007 and 8. And that also was when we had, instead of, we had another tangle here with Uranus and Saturn, but they were opposite then. Now they're square. So we have that cycle kind of reenacting, but just a different bad aspect.
Carrie, I've lost sound. I can see your cursor moving, but I have no sound.
How's that? Does that go?
You're back.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. Sorry, let me go back. Thank you. Okay, I was just saying, look at here how Venus and the sun are riding together. And then they go here 29, and then it flips right over. Look at Venus goes right over the sun, right when they go into the new sign together. It's just so interesting how astrology is, those degrees are really crazy. It's like, look, why, they're going there at 29. Venus is just coming right up to it. And then right when they change signs, right when it changes signs, it goes past the sun from our perspective. It's just crazy. But anyway, that's so cool. Then now all of a sudden, Venus now being in Scorpio is like now ahead of the sun. So it's kind of like, it goes from being sort of protected to like Elvira comes forth. It's like before Halloween, it's almost, it's like, I got this, don't worry, I got this, the haggy grandma side, with the stick comes out, the crone side of Venus comes out, the learned woman, and is not afraid to just take that action, and this, Scorpio is like, intense, focused, doing what it needs to. All of this after, we made those really difficult angles here. So this is all while Mars is, now starting to, it's still slowing down. You see now Mars is still direct. So this is good. I think this is a good thing, because this is all tangling up here and kind of, to me, Scorpio is narrowing down. It's focused down. One of the things it is, and it wants to investigate, wants to get to the bottom of something. It wants to really look at something closely. So that's what's going to be going on. We had that ushering, those things I just mentioned. And then now when this starts to happen, this is when we start going, whoa, wait a minute, tell me this again, and then you actually sit down and listen. And then as Mars in Gemini slows down, I think we'll sit down and listen. I think this is a good thing. I mean, there's always those, those nasty things with the retrograde Mars and frustration, and you can't always go, adrenaline, full tilt boogie all the time, but it's slowing down, and it's going to let you have, or let us as a collective have time to look at this stuff, to digest it, and to maybe make some decisions that aren't rash or tyrannical. Yeah, that's right. The good way to say it. All right, so let's move forward again. And we see a little glomming up here when the moon comes in and the Mercury gets closer. Now we got this little cluster up here. This is going to be very interesting because we're getting close to this midterm thing. So the 24th, next Monday, could also be a very interesting day, 24th, 25th, because we're getting all of this starting to cluster together. We got the South Node, Venus, Sun, Moon, and Mercury. And the moon is going to go over things quick. So this day might give us some foreshadowing of events to come within the next week. But let's just look and see what we can see. Okay, so this is the next day. This will be, okay, we have to always follow the story to the end. So this is next week, and we'll get into this more next week, but let's just look here what we got going on. Okay, so the moon moves out, and then we got this group moving closer, and then here's now where Mercury squares up with Pluto. It'll be next week. See, here it is. We'll get into it more next week, and we'll talk about Saturn as well, but here's next Thursday. But I just want to see, so it's Friday. Look at Mercury's flying. It's like 0 degrees. Now, here we go. So the 29th, look at, we got this lineup here and all the Scorpio stuff on the 29th. So I think next, the following week, 24th through the end of the month, is going to be really critical. Some real interesting scorpionic stuff. Let's just put it that way. And let's just look one more degree here. Look how tight this is starting to get. Ooh. Wow. Let's see how tight it gets. Right there. Boom. Let's look. I think we've looked at this, but look again, if you're not looking at the pre-election videos, but here, look at the 4th, the sun. Yeah, Venus just crossed over here on the 4th, just the day before. Right there, on the 2nd, Venus is right on the South Node. So that's like, theirs may be a very interesting day, because when, anything on the South Node is when, material things have to go. And then we got Venus there. And then the sun comes over that the next day, actually 2 days later. It's right there. Yep, on the 5th. And then let's see. Yeah, look, on the 6th. And then we have Mercury on the 6th. So very interesting. Venus, the sun, and Mercury all go over the South Node before this election thing. I'm not sure totally what that means, but we'll maybe think about it next week. And then look at here. I think we already talked about this. It's like, look at the opposition over there with the moon and Uranus, but we'll get there. I don't want to get too much ahead of us, but you have to look ahead when you see kind of like where things are playing out, where it's going, where is this leading? We're taking a week at a time and focusing on that, but you have to just look ahead and see how the events are going to play out. Okay, so to recap, here we are on like 17th, 18th. We have, we have the Mars slowing down. We have Saturn slowing down and turning direct. We have Venus Sun conjunction, and then we have Venus Sun and then Mercury all coming up to be making squares over to Capricorn. So we have that cardinal energy, Sun and Venus. So think values, think ego, think Pluto, depth, regeneration in those areas. And then we have the nice trine from Mars, going over to that, but it's in conjuncting Pluto. So it's probably imposing, if there's not much going on with Mars and Pluto, with being both. That's interesting because they're both malefics. So they're not seeing eye to eye at all. But Mars and Saturn slowing down right now about, to change directions, one going one way, one going the other, are still going to be really heavy on us because they're going slow. They're about to change sign. They're change directions. All right. Anything else? Let's just look around here real quick. We have that square still tight. The pushback against authority square, Saturn and Uranus. And then we have the conjunction kind of Neptune. It's sort of conjunct. It's a wide conjunction. Neptune and Jupiter. Jupiter is slowing down as well. So that planet, I mean, even though it's in Aries right now, it's going to go back into Pisces. It doesn't, I don't think it goes far. I can't remember if it goes all the way back to, I don't know. I don't think it goes all the way back to where Neptune is, but it gets closer. But and then changing signs, back into that same resonance as Neptune. That'll be interesting. It's going to add that aspect to things. Boom, 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 boom. I think that's about it. I don't want to belabor it and make it more or less or more than it is. So again, look for maybe where this late degrees of Libra is in your chart. And then, you should by now know where Pluto is. It's about to leave whatever house, but now we've got, this stuff here, these cardinal signs, the cardinal sign, Libra, our sun and Venus, and then soon Mercury squaring that, and then just go looky see where that's going on in your chart. All right, that's all for today. We'll see you guys next week, and stay astrologically centered. All right, bye for now.